All right, let's talk some commodities. Phil Streible with us for a Friday chat, starting with arguably the boring one, which is crude oil. Phil, how you doing, sir? Great to see you as always.
Yeah, man. Crude oil futures, they got hit pretty hard here. You look at the resistance point on crude oil. If you take a daily chart and throw the 100-day moving average, it's ran up to that level several times and it's failed from here. We do like the mid 60s as a key level of support, but they're citing oversupply in 2025, weak global demand. Also, people were blaming the uptick in the unemployment rate, saying that there's going to be less demand out there. But if you were to look at the numbers behind crude oil, you could see that the supplies, EIA supplies, were well below the 5-year average on all the products, gasoline, distillates, and crude oil. And it's a pretty tight supply picture in Cushing as well. So people are saying that oversupply with Trump coming in office, but I think that they'll end up, things will flare up in the Middle East before they're able to get 3 million more barrels per day online.
What happens if we go down into mid 60s, possibly break those lows? I mean, it looks so heavy, like it's a matter of time.
Yeah, well, so I've been looking farther out, like the March contract, and it's already trading in the mid 60s. So the farther out you go, the cheaper that the price is on crude oil. So you don't want to get too far out on that contract because you want to have that like potential for any kind of geopolitical flare-ups and things like that to impact the prices. So we definitely like the 100-barrel crude oil contract for the March contract, and we like it in the mid 60s, but only for a bounce back to the low 70s.
Okay. And I see we're like generally that's kind of the way the curve goes, right? Cheaper the further you go out. But still, I mean, it is fairly steep right now, which I guess one could argue is maybe a little bearish bias perhaps in WTI.
Yeah, we stuck on, we just stuck our toe in the water with like 100-barrel crude oil contracts for clients. So it's not like we have any kind of significant positioning in crude oil whatsoever at the moment. It's just another commodity that is a bit of a wild card and things could flare up at any point in time.
Okay. So it's something to watch. I guess that does help us, though, figure out how to read crude when it has been so soft, so weak, that if it does perk up all of a sudden, we should probably pay attention to whatever causes that, especially if it's geopolitics.
Yeah, 100%. And the 100-day moving average, just put it on a chart and you're going to see that it's at the top of there. So if it gets above there, maybe some dynamic changes, some new participant comes into that market.
All right. Hey, well, one of the most exciting commodities we don't talk about much, but it's been ripping. Little caffeine, little coffee. What do you think? KC going vertical.
So the two largest producers, Brazil and Vietnam, and then actually the third one, Colombia. But really all the talk has been in Brazil, the heat and the drought. They're in their growing season right now. They produce 39% of the coffee on the planet as far as Robusta. You go to Vietnam, that's where all the headlines are at. They're delaying their harvest with 15 days of rain. So I've been checking the weather on my phone in my AccuWeather now thinks that I live in Ho Chi Minh City because of that. So they produce 17% of the global coffee. And then again, Colombia with 7%. So November 12th is when you got the breakout on the chart. The problem with the coffee market is that it's 37,500 pound contracts. So every penny move is $375. So if somebody goes in there and they try to short it today, you're just going to get smoked in that market. So we prefer the options for the calculated risk.
Okay. So, but you're wanting to take part in it.
Oh, if it trades, we're gonna take some action in it. So it doesn't matter. But you look another big high or low on the chart. This has all the makings of like how cocoa went ballistic and the prices haven't come back since. Coffee could easily do that as well.
All right, nice. All right, let's talk some real volatility going into the weekend. Last night we had a little misstep after the big breakout in the coin, but it's finding its footing, ramping right back this afternoon.
This is going to be the highest close on the charts because we did get over the 100,000, but we didn't close above that level yesterday. So now closing above it is really interesting. I think that this is, it's a bigger picture. You've got a broader audience, widespread participation. You've got to talk about a Bitcoin reserve. You got Paul Atkins as SEC chairman. I think it's just a matter of time that we hit 125, 150, 200. And I think that it's just because of the participation. So if all of a sudden you start getting like Oliver's 2065 retirement fund is all of a sudden allocating 15 basis points in there.
Planting ideas in my head.
Yeah.
Leading the
So
witness.
the target dated fund is, once they start allocating towards it, I think that, it's over with. It's just going to keep on going. And then Jerome Powell calling it, digital gold was, I think, kind of reassuring from the Fed there, because of the fact that we've had so many hawks of people that are holding, a political role in this thing, that it kind of felt like he accepted it right there.
What do you think about MSTR? Is the tail wagging the dog at all? Are people looking at MicroStrategy to trade as it's like more volatile than Bitcoin now? Like, people love the volatility of BTC, but MSTR is even more wild.
This is like what people do with these commodities. They go and they buy some like triple leveraged silver stock, and then all of a sudden silver goes down one day and it crushes the ETF. So I just think if you're going to do it, play Bitcoin. You want to play Ripple and all these other things, Ethereum, go ahead and do that. But when you start getting to, some guy who's taken on debt to buy more Bitcoin and things like that, I could tell you that if there is a recession, and I'm not saying that one's going to happen, but when you go into, a deflationary, declining growth environment, and the Fed had already cut rates too far already, you're going to see Bitcoin is going to pull back on it, and MSTR is going to fall twice as fast.
All right. Should be fun. The eventuality, it seems like, of the hit, but who knows when it comes or how far we go first. We'll definitely keep our eyes peeled on it along the way. You got any aces up your sleeve, Phil, before the weekend?
60 Minutes is going to have something on Ripple, I heard. So
wow.
People
are good times are back. Yeah, the good times are back.
Quite a bit here.
I ran the numbers. Doge at like 45 billion market cap. I literally checked on, I think, Wednesday. It was bigger than 69% of companies in the S&P. So, yeah, we're back.
I'm just shaking my head. I got nothing.
Have a great week.
Crazy.
Have a great weekend, sir.
Take care, man.
Appreciate you, Phil. Thank you very much. Phil Streible, Chief Market Strategist of Blue Line Futures.